Hello and welcome to The Story Pilgrim. Gothenburg, Sweden. Giving paths. It was Boxing Day, a moment when the festive frenzy has settled and we're left with time to reflect. While others might be tackling leftover turkey or trying to untangle fairy lights for next year, I've been pondering something deeper, the art of giving. Now, before we set off, let me ask you this. Have you ever hesitated over giving a gift? Worried that it might not be received in the way you intended? Or felt that pang of discomfort when trying to be generous to yourself? As though self-kindness somehow doesn't count. If these questions resonate, you are not alone, and this episode might offer a perspective that sticks with you. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and share it with someone who could use a reminder to be as kind to themselves as they are to others. So, let's lace up our walking shoes, metaphorically or literally, and take a stroll through Gothenburg. Along the way, we'll explore what generosity really means, how to navigate the delicate dance of expectations, and why giving, especially to ourselves, is one of life's most profound acts. Let's walk, talk, and discover the paths that lead to connection and kindness. Gothenburg. Never thought I'd be coming to here, but here I am in Sweden's second largest city, behind Stockholm. It is also the fifth largest city in the Nordic lands in Scandinavia. Interestingly, its actual name isn't Gothenburg. Its actual Swedish name is Gothenburg, but they've decided to anglicise it and become Gothenburg. I think that was from like 2009 or something like that. Only an hour and a half flight from London. I am opposite a place that I'm going to go in later, Liseberg, which I think was voted the Europe's best theme park in 2023, which is across the road. There's a giant Ferris wheel there. We'll have a look at that later. I'm going to go for a wander around. It is a port town, has the deepest port in Sweden. So yeah, I think it's actually the biggest port in the Nordics, actually, out of them all. So it's quite popular for that, or well known for that. There's a big hole opposite the hotel I'm staying in. I'm not actually sure where I'm going. I don't know. I've just started walking. Should I go down there or should I go across there? Let's go this way. Oh no, hang on. Yeah, I'll do this. Well, that looks more interesting across the road though. I'll go this way. Yeah, what else is to say about it? Modern Gothenburg was built by the Dutch. They're not that... Well, they are a bit further. It's about a 3-hour drive south down to Malmo from here. And then you can take a bridge and you're in Denmark. What else is there? So there was a Gothenburg. I should really say, shouldn't I? Is twinned with Chicago. I guess that's why I really should be here. That is why I've come to Gothenburg today, is because it is twinned with Chicago. I've just realised that. So that's absolutely why I'm here. It looks nothing like Chicago, but then, what is all this twinning thing about? It is a global sustainability champion. Yeah, they are unwavering in their commitment to sustainability. Hasn't gone unnoticed. Lonely Planet crowned Gothenburg as the planet's premier sustainable city break destination. There you go. It's just getting better and better, isn't it? And they have loads of islands outside of it, the archipelago. I can never say that word. Yeah, thank you. It's got a load of islands outside it. So that would be fun to do, but I don't really have time to do that. So I'm going to go wander around and see what we got to find in Gothenburg. I think one of the things I love about walking around a new place like this is it kind of feels like I'm in a movie, because you see things that you may have seen on TV, like this got an old tram there, another old tram just passing right in front of me. Yeah, and the cobblestones, there's quite a lot of cobblestones here, so it kind of makes it feel like every step, got to be careful, it's like got to have a, it's purposeful. And Sweden, the Nordic countries, are all quite expensive, or much more. Well, I mean, London prices nowadays, can you say, but you look at some of this stuff and you think, crikey, that's my paycheck for the month. But it kind of does feel like I'm in a movie, not really knowing where I'm going, as usual, like I did in Riyadh. But it was weird in Riyadh. Felt very different to this. Here, I feel like it's okay. I can just walk wherever. I'll figure it out. In Riyadh was very different. Felt very lost there. Here, I've just got to watch out for the trams. There's another one. There's quite a few. I mean, I'm right in the centre, so I'm at the hub of it all. But there's canals cutting through as well. It's got a really cool feel to it. It is Boxing Day in England. It's well, I mean, you take it for what it is, Boxing Day, really, don't you? You can take it as just getting back to normal after Christmas, time for quiet reflection. Thinking about the festive season, all the connecting that you may or may not have been doing, the giving, and all the festive magic that comes along with it. I've just spent the last month being Father Christmas, Santa Claus, Papa Noel, in Brighton at the shopping centre. It was really fascinating. First time I've done that. Seeing the reaction of all the kids, the different reactions, adults, really sort of gave like a deeper meaning to the spirit of Christmas, to the spirit of generosity, the purpose of it. It was really fascinating for me to have that. So I'm kind of going to be wandering around Gothenburg today, thinking about that, and what we talk about, the spirit of Christmas, the generosity that comes along with that. Gonna give that a thought and feel. I've just wandered into a massive shopping centre. It's huge, and there's random escalators just disappearing up and down, like into shops. Like, I mean, it's all got all your regular stuff: H&M, Zara, Burger King, Dressman. I mean, there's so many names over it. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce 90% of the names of these places and streets and stuff. I mean, that will look like Julk Clap, and I don't know. It's just like it's another language, isn't it? Mr. Parmesan, hello. I wonder what he sells. Oh, it's a little like indoor market. In the indoor market, there's an indoor market. We've got little sausages. Mr. Parmesan doesn't just sell Parmesan. Gothenburg was unfurling, unintentionally, unexpectedly in front of me. The time of year was dictating my thoughts and feelings hugely at this moment. I had wandered into the Palm House, a large greenhouse in a park I had just stumbled across. But yeah, thinking about being Boxing Day, it's a weird day really, because it's kind of nothing. It's like an encore that nobody really asked for. Yeah, we'll give you an extra day. Yay! What do I do with it? We just sit around in just a rubble of wrapping paper and boxes and reflect. But then, you come into a place like this and you can hear the gravel beneath my feet. But I love silence. I love silence in an acting moment, but in life, it's just that time to hear myself think, or in my case, to hear myself overthink. But this is a nice little detraction and a nice little bit of warmth. So I'm learning that the Swedes celebrate Jul, Jul, with candles, warm drinks, and just generalness of stay indoors and don't fight the darkness. Sunset today is at 3:30 p.m. so we just missed the shortest day of the year. But yeah, they don't have much sun here. They've got apparently part of this jewel is they have a giant straw goat named Gualv goat. That's G-A with an umlaut V-L-E. And they burn that over an amount of time. It's often burnt down by Christmas time. And I think it's the Swedish way of just saying, come on, don't take things too seriously. Everything's going to go up in flames anyway. Yeah, it's an interesting little thing that, but yeah, their days are much, much shorter. Here, thinking about what I mentioned before about generosity and giving gifts and how generous you are in that, it's a weird thing, isn't it, that we give this present to someone that we think is going to be of value and that they're going to hold on to it as much as we hold on to that thought of us giving them the gift. And that could be a physical thing, or it could also be like a kind word. That thing of like going, oh, I'm going to give you this now, I really hope that you like it. Please don't hate it. It's the vulnerability of it all, but the braveness, is that a word? What's the boldness, braveness in giving it? It can be awkward, but also can be really good. Yeah. So as I said, I've just had a month of being Father Christmas, and it was really weird because even for myself, I'd put on the beard and the sideburns and the moustache and the wig and the glasses, and I didn't even recognise myself. It was really weird. I had a couple of people come on down and go, "Is that really you? Is that you?" See pictures. I had several children come in and afterwards walking out going, I think I've met the real Father Christmas, which was really cool. But the magic didn't come in the transformation. It really just came in the moments that I had between several children. There was a couple that stood out. There was Mr. Grumps, who came in because he just wanted to come into town to go to the entertainment store and it was closed, so he decided to call. He's like, didn't want to be called Teddy today. He was now Mr. Grumps. He was hilarious. He was only about 6 or 7. And then there was another little lad who was probably about the same age, 6 or 7, that came in, and he wanted to give me a hug, and you're not allowed to do that for safeguarding reasons. You put my hands up and let them give you a hug. Thank you. And I asked him what he wanted, and he just started like tears in his eyes and said, well, because of what's happened with Mum and Dad this year, I don't really want anything too big. And his auntie was with him, and I said, well, where are you staying? He said, I'm staying at my auntie's. And it was really quite touching, and I did want to give him a hug. Did just want to give him a hug and tell him it's all going to be okay. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know anything that's going on in his life, but just those little moments, just to see the innocence and the beauty in the children's eyes, the ones that they absolutely firmly believed that they were meeting Father Christmas, was just absolutely magical, wonderful. And that's what I kind of love about Christmas. No matter what people say about it, it kind of does have that air of magic to it that you just want to cling on to. You just want to hope that there is some things out there that are unexplainable, that there maybe is something more to life than this thing that we're going through. Just all of that. And as I walk around Gothenburg here, it's still got all of its Christmas lights up, and there is a twinkling, there is a magic to that. It's delightful. There's a big church here that I'm next to now. Let's see if there's a name here. I shouldn't look at names, should I? Because Subway and Joe and the Juice are very prominent here. Okay, this is I don't know what. That's probably just a name for Gustavi Domrikskrach. Probably just murdered that.
Jewel. Don't fight the darkness. There is something to that, the more I think about it. We are so lucky to experience life. I truly wish that all of you that are listening to this episode, to this podcast, experience that joy. The joy of being alive and grateful for being so. Happiness of the soul has to be the ultimate goal, doesn't it? Now, back to giving.
The Swedes have a word called lagom, which means just the right amount, not too much and not too little. And I think they kind of, it's like the equivalent, the Scandinavian equivalent to Goldilocks with regards to their giving. Their approach sort of reflects like a thoughtful, understated approach to giving. In contrast to how we do it in the UK and America, where we all seem to overcompensate with glitter and pizzazz and the size of it, you know. And I think both of them have a charm, but there is something nice about that lagom. I've popped in a place called Espresso House, which is all over Gothenburg. I'm wondering if they are a Swedish thing. Really nice coffee house. But I got myself a mozzarella and pepperoni baguette, and it is really nice. I think it's because I'm probably extra hungry. But did exactly what I needed. And a caramel latte. So I'm going to enjoy this. I'm on the corner of Magasinsgatan and Kungsgatan. I wonder if that is street. I should learn more stuff, shouldn't I? Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my baguette. I love it. It's just lovely. Keep going back to generosity and giving, and how much more complicated it is than we actually think. You know, there's all the expectations, the vulnerability that I spoke about, twist, the silent hope that it will be received in the same spirit that it's going to be offered. I found that, like, in my life, the times that are hardest to give is when I kind of feel like I don't have anything to give. And that can be, you know, materialistically, or just in time or energy. Sometimes it just feels a little bit impossible to do that. There's a lovely little square here now, which looks like in the summer would be lovely to sit out in, and there's loads of cafes and stuff, and food trucks. It's really cool. But I feel like to offer something when you're feeling empty, that's quite extra special. And then it's not about the size of the gift, is it? It's about the courage that it takes to give it. I mean, it's risky as well, isn't it? Because you always got the fact that it might not be received the way that you want it to be received. And sometimes you give because you don't want to make a difference. You just do it because there's the opportunity to do it. The chance is there. I think for me the biggest part of giving is letting go of the outcome. Is not worrying about what that might be received and how it might be received, because you don't have control over that person that you're giving it to, or whatever that might be. Kind of got surrendered to that, and it's a word that I kind of have a struggle with faith. Having faith that it's going to be received in the best way. And then, thinking about all of that, and I have a big problem with this, is the hardest person to give a gift to, for me personally, is myself. I really do struggle with that, whether we're talking about forgiveness, kindness, materialistic things, time. I'll give it to other people, but I really find it hard to do it to myself. And I'm trying to figure out why is that? Why am I like that? Because it feels selfish if I do it. Because I'm just too busy to do other things, so I kind of feel like I'm losing out and it's not worth my time in doing that. I think in the end it's not so much about the transaction, it is about how it's received, and I have to learn myself to receive it from myself as well. Anyway, I'm rambling on.
Do you feel that too? Giving a gift to oneself, is that easy to do? I love it when I see a friend of mine taking time out for themselves, treating themselves. It is, in turn, a gift to me. That they are doing that for themselves makes me feel great. Maybe I should think about that in order to make me feel a little bit better in giving to myself. Then I'm not giving to myself. Oh no, here comes the overthinker again.
Now, I'm not going to lie, there are times when I do wonder why do I do this? Why do I do this podcast? I don't make any money out of it, and I don't think I ever will. So it's not the reason. I'm not doing it for that reason anyway. Does anybody actually care about it? It really is a strange thing, creating something that, just you put out there, and it just goes out into, the entire world. If you've got a podcast platform, they're on pretty much, it's on everyone could listen in. It could have millions of listeners, but it doesn't. Oh, Texas Steakhouse. Texas, it is a Texas Longhorn. Oh God, there's nobody in it. It is open. Anyway, maybe they're wondering, why did I put this here? Same as what I'm doing now. But then I also kind of think, there are regular listeners, and I really appreciate you listening in. And you do give me feedback. I occasionally get a message from someone, or I get messages from people that I have no idea who they are, replying to a question I may have put in the podcast, or just saying, really love that episode, that was great. So, it's just my little whisper into the world. Not trying to change it in any way, but just trying to help in a way. I love walking. You've probably heard me say that many, many times, and it's such a simple act, isn't it? Just one foot in front of another. But when I'm doing it like today, where I don't really have a destination in mind, I'm just wandering around, it becomes so much more than just putting that one foot in front of the other. The mind starts working, wandering as well. And that's what I loved from my experience on the Camino. And whenever I do go for a long walk, and you get that wherever, here I am in Gothenburg wandering around, and the same things happen to me, because it's me, isn't it? And I love walking around places that are new to me, because new things pop up. I'll see new sights, new statues, shops, buildings, parks, rivers, seas, mountains. But then the new things pop up in my head as to whatever's going on in my head at that time. Oh, I've got to cross the road. Oh, it's green. I'm all right. I was just crossed over one of the canals here in Gothenburg, and they're hardly moving, as a canal does. I mean, you get the rivers cutting through places, but canals kind of just sit there, but they do the job. And with Gothenburg being this really important port cities, when I worked on the cruise ships, they're always they've got a certain feel to them. They're always in flux. They're always changing, because you've got this in and out all the time. You've got stuff coming in, you've got stuff going out. They really are. They're quite unique, and I love that. I think it's shaped my life a lot with regards to how I've travelled and how I like the change. I like things to be different. I'm always looking for something else. It is, I kind of always feel a little bit adrift, but when something does come in, it's amazing. You're like, way, this is great. Well, Gothenburg kind of reminds me of all of that. The waters are still, but they aren't really. I'm walking up to Leesburg, the theme park. Let's go and have a look around that.
The waters are still, but they aren't really. I have such a way with the use of our lovely English language. Let's get back to the time of year and the festivities, traditions that we get up to at this time of year.
So I've come into Leesburg, the theme park, which has been voted the best theme park of 2023 in Europe, and it's pretty cool. They've got a winter wonderland theme. They've got loads of roller coasters, but there's all of these just shops and like things that you can, do at your theme parks with like little games, and it's all very wintry because of all the obviously time of year. But it's delightful. It's all like got fake snow, and not that they need it, but they do at the moment. But it's really cute. They just have random fire pits burning. There's some here. The smell is just absolutely the smell of wood, but these ones are like roaring. You can't get anywhere near them. There's a girl there stoking them, but then there's just like barbecue pits just off to the side that you can stand next to, which is very trusting. Somebody shoved their hand in it. I mean, yeah. As I wander around this theme park, kind of sometimes feel like, well, I should be doing something else, but it kind of feels aimless. But also, it's like, well, there is an intentional act in the aimlessness. When I walk around with no purpose, I find things that I didn't know I was looking for. Whether that can be in a hillside, in a park, in an office building, in the middle of Leesburg, surrounded by Christmas lights, roller coasters, food, drinks, carousels. I've walked up to the Luna Park here. There's a giant, it's not a tree, they've made it into a tree. It's just like a very big tower that is a big Christmas tree on top of the hill. I think wandering teaches me to surrender to the overthinking. The overthinking that I do a lot of. Stop fighting for the control and just let the path unfold in its own way. It gives a great reminder that it's not about the destination, it is all about the journey. So as I come to an end of walking around Gothenburg, and this Boxing Day for me, I don't really care about that here in Sweden. I'm reminded, I say it so many times, that this moment that I'm in right now, the present, is a gift. I've talked about generosity and giving, and just by giving myself this time just to wander around is a real gift to myself, and I'm very, very lucky that I can do that for myself. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's not about the material stuff. That's nice. It's about presence, connection, and creating moments that continue to resonate. Very, very lucky. I've just been up to the top, or the highest point in Leesburg, and they have a little museum up there, and you're coming down the escalator and they have all pictures of people that have been here. 1988, Michael Jackson. 1971, Elton John. I think I was 1 year old when Elton John was here performing in Gothenburg, I was 18 years old when Michael Jackson was here performing, and that was happening, that was going on. And I was doing my own thing, and here I am now thinking about, wow, they were here then doing that. And, Elton John is still going strong, Michael Jackson not so much. That concept of time and place and putting all that together, but now here I am now. It's it kind of does overwhelm me hugely as I travel around. I've spoken that quite a few times. But yeah, really, really interesting town, city. Yeah. Gloria. And so, here we are at the end of our walk through Gothenburg. Isn't it fascinating how paths, whether through city streets, lush parks, or the winding corridors of our own minds, seem to guide us towards what we most need? Today, we've unravelled the layers of generosity, the joy of giving, the weight of expectation, and the quiet, often overlooked gift of being kind to ourselves. Generosity, I think, is like the waters I saw today, appearing still on the surface but always alive with movement beneath. It reminds me that even when our lives feel stagnant, there's always something stirring below. And isn't that hopeful? That no matter how stuck we feel, there's always the possibility for motion, connection, and change. This time of year has a way of pulling us into reflection. We think about the gifts we've given, the ones we've received, and the ones we haven't yet allowed ourselves to give, to others, and more importantly, to ourselves. Self-giving isn't selfish, it's foundational. It's how we refill our well so we can pour into the lives of others. Imagine if we all approached life with the same grace and generosity we offer to those we love. How much lighter might we feel? How much more connected might we become? If this walk has resonated with you, if my musings about giving and receiving have stirred something within, I hope you'll carry it forward. Maybe you'll take a moment to treat yourself as someone worthy of kindness. Maybe you'll share this episode with a friend who needs the same reminder, because generosity, like the ripples on a pond, grows with every small, intentional act. Thank you for walking this path with me today, for your presence, your listening, and your willingness to explore these ideas together. The Story Pilgrim was written, walked, talked, recorded, edited, overthunk by me, Darren Hill. Anya Backer was amazing, as always, on Shaun the Harp. For more information about The Story Pilgrim, go to our website, www.thestorypilgrim.com, and have a read of my blog. It's there for you to read, it's free. Until the next time, keep listening, and buen camino.